if you think about this in your business, and everyone's business might be a little different here, we have business objectives at the highest level to make our business go. And we have these, I'll give it 3 categories here. Brand awareness, we want to drive some inquiries and leads, and we're doing that, we need to close them for them to become the buying cycle, right? Over here we have the buyer that has habits. Okay, they need to connect, they're looking for a solution, they need to be educated, research demos. Well, we need to develop content for them in this matrix. Does that make sense? So whether you're doing it for yourself or your customers, we need this content to bring them into this inbound marketing funnel. I promise you follow this path, you will have inquiries and leads that drive business. This isn't, fluff. I started a small QR code tracking solution. I only use this strategy. I have upwards of 800 customers today. All right, so no other way, by the way. Until after I get them on, and then 6 months later they might get something in the, via email, the e-newsletter alternative. So why should we care? Imagine if we had all this in place and then we're sharing the information, we had a strategy, and we can drive people into our funnel. Because that's what we want to get to. Inbound marketing allows us to connect in a totally different way. We're not just sharing content for the heck of it. I want to be a thought leader about the subject matter that I sell. I should be, right? I should be pretty understanding of what I don't care from manufacturing or retail about that. If it's jeans, it's jeans. What we want to do is connect in a way, share it, build those relationships, and then the idea is to sustain a steady lead generation pipeline. You obviously can benefit by using social media, awareness. What do you have? Using your content. Every time we use this content, YouTube, video, or subject matter, it helps my SEO, and I can actually reach more prospects and customers in these channels. Generating inquiries and lead metrics. So remember, I talked about how important Google Analytics is. Now, if you really understood, tell me you have a little understanding of this content inbound strategy. Does it make sense? I develop an e-paper about mobile marketing. I share it in all my channels. E-newsletter. I might even put it on a postcard if I was something. If I get, maybe it's a rider or something, and then they come back. The idea is, remember that picture I told you? They come to our homepage. The idea is to move this needle. Right? I want to move that needle. Not just my Facebook needle. That's fine to get more likes, but I want to move this needle, and I want to be able to measure what I just told you will work. Right? So we use Google Analytics, and as they do this, these are things that we can use for metrics, right? How many more visitors, based on the things we're doing, how many people are downloading, signing up for e-newsletters? Now, I didn't ask earlier, I promise, not a lot more exercise. How many folks actually have an e-newsletter for their business? Wow. If you do me one, I don't want a newsletter with 5,000 articles either. I want a short, here's the e-newsletter designer here, right? We want a short, little e-newsletter, but if you have someone that comes to your website to engage and interact, they go away. What if they really liked your product, right? They work with, they really like everything they found on their site, and you didn't give them a way to say, I don't want to buy you. Because a lot of times we don't. This isn't an immediate, we're not, immediately buying things, but if they said, I really like what I have here, let's have a little way where they can sign up for our e-newsletter. Now make sure you tell them in your e-newsletter sign-up box, you've seen them. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to do it either, but I love it. In my thing, I'll go look at my lead generation data. I'll see 5 people signed up for my e-newsletter. That's like a single, because they're now they're in my database, right? I can bring them back through the cycle based on how they came in. So this whole inbound strategy, we want to do that. But I love e-newsletters. Now I know there's people that I hate them. Okay, that's fine, but you're not going to sign up for my e-newsletter, but everybody else that does is good, and then I'll try to reach you in another way. But these are just lead-generating assets that we can drive into our CRM tool, which is our contact management system. Make sense? Sure? All right, great. So here it is again, how it all works. Plan, target audience, content, share it, channels, get noticed. I've got ways for them to engage. I never give away a white paper. What do I do? What do I ask for? I ask for your email address. All right? And I also make sure that you don't, it turns to the next page and you get the white paper. No. The system emails you the link so you get the white page because I want to make sure that your email is valid. Right? So, anyways, These things go on and on, and some people say, well, you know, I don't do that. Well, there's other things they can engage in, right? Like your blogs. Right? We want people to engage in our blog. People engage in our blog, I can follow up with them. But this will actually generate inquiries and leads following the inbound process. And the reason I put the green arrows in there, if you're going to use Twitter, and you do this and you post the thing on Twitter, and you can measure that they came to your website from Twitter and you know it's them, then you better be able to know how to communicate back with them. So I didn't see any resemblance of anybody here that wouldn't think about doing that, but I have companies all the time that say, you know, I'm on Twitter, but none of my sales reps know how to use it. In 5 years, whether it's Twitter or whatever, they're going to start to use these tools for customer service, whether you like it or not. Because think about these kids. Well, listen, for you young folks, before you know it, you get old like me. Am I right? Right? Just like that. Well, they're going to be there buying and consuming like they already are once they're out of college, like, you know, buying and consuming. So we need to know how to communicate with them. So I'm passionate about it because I talk to a lot of companies. They're like, yeah, we're on, you know, Twitter and Facebook, but they're not listening. They don't talk back to them in those channels. If they communicate with me in a direct message on LinkedIn, do you think I go to the email box and send them an email? Yes or no? No. They communicated within the channel that they seem to like. Why do I want to bring them somewhere else? I might ask them, hey, I can't upload this document, or I didn't have it there, or whatever. You know what I'm saying. Hopefully you know what I'm saying there. But we have to have ways to communicate back in those channels. There's a key resource for you, right? So you'll see how all this works when you go get this free white paper from me. Free e-paper white paper on inbound marketing. To kind of bring you through this whole process again. And then you'll have to give me your email address, or you won't get the link here. And then you'll be in my den of more things that I might send you if you sign up for that. Because we all know what canned spam is. I'm not going to talk about that today, but the idea is this strategy works well when we have a content strategy that allows people to connect with us. So one of the things I want to close with before I get to the end here is how our marketing calendars have changed. Right, if you remember in the old days, for you folks that are younger here, 10 years ago, this is what our marketing calendar would look like at a rounded event. You know, we send out the flyers, we announce it on the website, we get a mail a monthly newsletter, we make some phone calls, hey, we even get some email, we do some word of mouth, and then we have the event, follow up, enter new contacts. If we put together all these social things we do, our calendar might look like this. And if we're sharing content about the event, I mean, think about it. You know, when we talk about it with Katie and the team here at Mossberg, we're going to do a better job of sharing content that's relevant around this event, because we can definitely generate more people to come here that are interested in that content. Does that make sense? And you can do the same thing for your own company or for your customers as an example. But here's what my new calendar looks like as an example. So the final thing I want to go through is what steps and action items would I like to see you do that I think you'd be successful doing this. In social media, we've got it on, I hate when they call it social media marketing. It's online marketing. Social media is a tool to communicate, listen, and engage, and have conversations, right? But you need a plan. We have to have some kind of plan. Or we're posting. You have no idea, you guys. I used to tell the crowds, let's just go. I love college interns. And by the way, I started my company on the backs of students. My software business on the backs of students. But they need what? Mentors. They just can't come in. I love the companies. Hey, we hired this college. Oh, they're really working out good. Really? I said, yeah. I see they're posting on Facebook every day. What are they talking about? Nothing about their brand or anything. So I love students. Just make sure they have a mentor when you bring them in, and make sure they can follow a plan. So that's one action item. Take a hard look at each component that you have today. What's your website look like on your mobile phone? Barbara? How's it looking? Pretty good. I didn't think yours looked too bad. We talked about, responsive web design, right? It looks pretty good. Responsive web design, by the way, is where we do design that fits on all devices. Right? No more pinch and zoom. Because there's no way that, and I'm not just stuck on this generation of teenagers, but if you use them as an example, it's really a launching pad for you to think about how you need to do things. But you need to look at your website in a variety of ways. Then I'd like you to take a look at your search engine optimization. Now, it's not that I don't know that, I just don't have enough time to do another 45 minutes on SEO, but you really want to take a look at that. But if you do this content inbound strategy, I promise you're going to help your own SEO, search engine optimization. If you got a good keyword strategy, what value statements wrapped around the